Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics, the War of the Lions. And I know I promised at the end of the last video that we were going to go ahead and get into some action this episode, but there were a couple of things that I really didn't have time to go over in the last episode, so I'm going to go ahead and go over them now. We are currently sitting on the Magic City of Garland, so if we press X, you can see here that we are presented with a menu, so we can go to the tavern, which is the source of all manner of gossip and rumor. Not all information is free, however. The Outfitter, which is a buyer and seller of sundry items, armor, and weapons. And a Warriors Guild, which is a guild that allows the recruitment of new units for a small finder's fee. So I'm going to try and go through these a little bit quickly here, because we will be getting a battle in today. So at the tavern, we can look at various rumors here. So we can look at a rumor of the Corpse Brigade. Brigandry is on the rise across the land, and Galleon has by no means been spared. For some reason, that was one of the hardest sentences I've read lately. But Waynes are struck and pillaged, high-ranking officials taken at sword point. Most of the incidents of this past 6 months are believed to be the work of a company of felons and former sellswords known as the Corpse Brigade. So, not great stuff has been going on. There's a rumor about King Ondoria III. The health of King Ondoria III has been a subject of concern since his collapse at the birthday celebration of Prince Orinus. The Board of Chamberlains has since announced that the king has regained consciousness and his fever has broken, but will yet require several weeks of quietude and bed rest in order to recover. So we heard about that in the last episode, that he has never really been in great health. Many speculate that it may be some months before the king resumes his official duties. However, Queen Luveria and her retainers have long been in charge of most affairs of the state, and thus few problems are anticipated during the king's absence. And a rumor about the 50 Years of War. This is actually more just background information on that war than a rumor per se, but so the half-century of conflict, so this is what took place before this game. The half-century of conflict between Evilis and Ordalia is today known as the 50 Years' War. The beginning of the 50 Years' War can be traced to the death of Ordalia's king, Devan III, and his failure to name a successor. His cousin, Varroy VI, was next in line for the throne. However, King Denamda II of Evilis, the uncle of Devan III, proclaimed himself the rightful heir and declared war on Ordalia. However, this was merely a pretense to justify the invasion of the neighboring Ordalian province of Zelmonia. Once an independent state, it had been annexed by Ordalia nearly a century prior. Evilis had since been aiding the province in an effort to weaken Ordalia, an effort that ultimately failed. Tired of Ordalian rule, the Zelmonian leadership and nobility secretly petitioned Evilis to take a more direct hand in their liberation. After a victory in Zelmonia, the Evilisian armies marched on the Ordalian capital of Viura. As fate would have it, Denamda II succumbed to fatal illness. Sorry about that, my cat decided to scratch at my chair. So, Denamda II succumbed to fatal illness on the road. The momentary confusion amongst Evilis' troops gave Ordalia the opportunity it needed to regroup, and Varroy the Sixth succeeded in pushing the Evilisians back as far as Zelmonia. Resulting impasse would not be broken until the Romandan army's invasion 2 years hence. Romanda, a powerful military state lying across the Hrana Strait, marched on Evilis at the behest of Varroy IV, a blood relation of the Romandan nobility. However, Denamda II's successor, Denamda IV, was a fearless warrior, personally leading his men in a battle against the combined might of Romanda and Ordalia. This, along with an outbreak of the Black Death in Romanda, forced the Romandan army to withdraw after only 3 years. Two military orders worthy of particular mention in this conflict are the Order of the Northern Sky, led by Knight Gallant Barboneth Beowulf, which now Duke Larg is in charge of, and that of the Southern Sky, led by Sidolphus Orlandu, known also as the Thunder God. After countless victories at home, these two orders have been poised to advance into Ordalia. However, the protracted conflict had begun to take its toll on domestic morale. Peasant uprisings and revolts began throughout Evilis and Ordalia. forced both countries to send their troops home to pacify their own citizens, resulting in another stalemate. So it was Denamda IV's sudden death by malady that broke the stalemate, although some claim that he was murdered. His successor, Ondoria III, was ill-suited to the throne and left the governing of Evilis to his queen and retainers. Without Denamda IV's leadership, the armies of Evilis had little prayer of preventing Faraway the sixth successor, Prince Leonard, from defeating the troops stationed in Zelmonia and advancing to Evilis proper. Despite the valiant efforts of the northern and southern orders, Evilis failed to repel Prince Leonard's invasion of Zeltenia. Evilis's leaders soon began looking for a peaceful alternative. In the end, both states agreed that prolonging the war would prove mutually detrimental, and a pact was signed allowing each nation to return to addressing domestic strife. An equal peace in name, it was in reality a defeat for Evilis. The economy of Evilis was brought to the very brink of ruin as it struggled to pay reparations to its former enemies and to repay the loans taken from neighboring states to fund its war effort. Soldiers returning from the front found themselves without pay, and entire orders of knights were summarily discharged from service. The swelling ranks of the unemployed did little to relieve the people's distrust of the crown and the nobility. So that's why things are not that great today when we have the Corpse Brigade. There are also melee and rendezvous here, but those will be explained a little bit later. So I'll just go ahead and exit here. Here in the Outfitter, we can buy, sell items. We can also do a fitting room style to buy items, for instance. You can do optimize, you can do try on to see what the effects on that character, or you can just straight up buy items. So I did get my party ready for the next battle off screen, but I did not do any item management, so just really quick here. Keep that extra stuff right now. Actually, we'll sell some items that I cannot use. The extra cash. Yeah, I'll sell the expression. And I want to buy some more potions. Should be fine with that. Alright, and now we're ready for the next fight, right? Well, there's a cutscene before we can go. So, this is a flashback and a flashback of a flashback. If that makes sense to you, congratulations. So Barbadith Beowulf, a great hero in his own right, who had attained the distinguished title of Knight Gallant, approaches death. Missed the last couple words there. So this is the Beowulf Mance in the waning days of the 50 Years of War. So what news of the war? The Order has struck a great blow. Limberry is ours once more. We'll be able to recall our forces in Zeltenia anon. All goes as planned, Lord Father. Be not troubled. The envoy dispatched to advocate Lenario has returned. He has agreed to your proposal, Lord Father. Good. Very good. Then the war will die with me. Father. There now, Alma. Do you want my last memory to be of your tears? Excuse me for a moment. Alright, sorry about that. My cat was apparently scratching at the window, I believe. So, back to the story then. Where is that Ramza? He should be here at your side. Dysadarg, Zalbag. You are dear to me, but Ramza is no less so. Though he be not the issue of the womb that bore you, my sons, still my blood courses his veins. Watch after him. Lord Father! You forget yourself, Ramza. You have come. Good. Let me look at you once more on your face. Lord Father. How long has it been? You've grown into a fine young man. I would hear of your studies. You've been at the academy since spring, is it? Hear me, Ramza. For generations, we Beowulfs have stood foremost those who serve the crown. Ours is the soul of the knight. Become a knight worthy of your name. Tolerate no injustice. Stray not from the true path. You will know the path you must walk. A Beowulf can walk no other. I will not fail you, father. Your friend, Delita, he is a good boy. He is lowborn, but he can serve you well. I've made arrangements for him to enter the academy. You should have seen the look on the headmaster's face. In the years ahead, you will need someone whom you can trust. You could do far worse than Delita. As you say, father. Take care of your sister. And show these brothers of yours what it is to be a knight. Alright. And so with that, we can finally go to the first battle, well, second battle, but or third, depending on how you want to count it. Alright, so we have a battle at the Mandalia Plains. So for this battle, let's see, who did I give equipment to? So you have turned, you, and our chemist. So we're going with 3 squires and a chemist. Excuse me. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Again, my cat is really in the mood to scratch at the window for some reason today. So it looks like this one's still alive. What do we do with him? What do you think we do with him? Right then. Your luck's run out, knave, if ever you had any. Blast! One of the Order's patrols. Corpse Brigade. And they have a hostage in their midst. So here we actually have a choice that can impact the battle. We can either say that our first duty is to defeat the brigade, in which the objective of the battle will just be to defeat all enemies, or we can say we must rescue their captive, in which case our objective will be to protect Argith, which means that if he even becomes KO'd, the battle is over. If we choose option 2, all of our units will receive a temporary boost in bravery of, I believe, 10 points, or maybe 20, and temporary boosts in bravery for every 4 points. One of those points is permanent. Now, guest characters in Protect missions, due to the randomness of this game, can sometimes be not very intelligent and run straight into the enemy and get themselves killed. So I'm going to go with option 1 here. The bravery boost, I'm not that worried about. It does also impact some wording in a future fight, but we'll see that when it comes to it. So our duty is to defeat the brigade. The enemy stands before us. Attack! You would stand by and watch as they kill an innocent? I hadn't planned on giving them the chance, had you? I would save him myself if it came to that. Defeat all enemies. Commence! Reinforcements, and none too soon. So he's trapped. He can't move at least this first turn, but he can get a smack in there. So he's just a squire. Now we have a new class here, which is the Thief. And the enemy also has a monster on their side that we have not seen before, so I'll talk about those in just a moment as soon as we get our first turn. Alright, so take a look at the monster here. It's a red panther. She's a nimble quadruped that hunts using its sharp teeth. The fluid covering its fangs and claws causes status effects. So its innate abilities are counter, so innately, every time we attack it, there's a chance, based on its bravery, that it'll attack us back. It can also ignore elevation, which means that its jump stat doesn't mean anything, except for vertical jumps, horizontal jumps. But as far as vertical goes, it can jump any height that it needs to, or fall from any height that it needs to take no damage. It does have a weakness to Earth Elemental, which we don't have magic yet, so that doesn't matter. But it cannot enter water, so if there's any water tiles, it's restricted from those. And then they also have the Thief class, which is a warrior whose nimble fingers allow him or her to steal from nearly anyone. But thankfully, this thief doesn't have any abilities learned, so it's gonna get in position. Even though we don't have to protect Argeth, it's not a bad idea to start moving towards him. You know stone? No, you do not. Okay. So Parnella, I did not give a weapon so that I could allow her to just go ahead and throw some punches at my allies to minimal damage, but to get some experience and some job points when there's nobody needs to be healed. Oh, Argeth's actually deciding to retreat this time. Means we're kind of accidentally leaving Delita all by himself. Actually would like to keep Delita alive for this fight if possible. So we're gonna go over here and help him out. Might as well punch out Argeth. Okay, that squire will probably need to be healed. That did the predicted damage. Yeah, you could probably use a potion on yourself then. Ramza might as well take on the monster because he has a decent amount of hit points. And didn't get it counterattacked. Not quite enough to kill him. Hopefully Delita will kill him. Or, okay, yeah, she can't get in position. Alright, good job, Delita. Get those delicious experience points. Since you can only get them in story battles. Hopefully she won't fall here. If she does, I do still have one Phoenix down. Oh, okay. I do have one Phoenix down still, at least. But actually, I'm not sure if my chemist can use them now that I think about it. So I might need to end this battle pretty quickly here. But there's only 3 enemies left, so I'm not that concerned. Can you throw? No, you don't. You don't know Phoenix Downs. Cool. And Argus will probably get the last blow here. Yep. Are you harmed? I'll be fine. It is for the Marquis's safety that I fear. The Marquis? The Marquis Elmdor de Limberry was here? The very same, and to whom do I owe my gratitude? We are Knight's Apprentice from the Academy at Garland. We may be able to help you, but first I would hear more. And the battle is won. Some money and a couple of potions. My name is Argus, a knight in His Excellency the Marquis Elmdor de Limberry's household. A knight, you say? Well, truth be told, I'm a knight apprentice. As are you, if I'm not far mistaken. Well, that's what we said. A fellow knight in training, then. I am Ramza Beowulf, and this is Delita Heral, my trusted friend. Beowulf? You're not of the Beowulfs of the Order of the Northern Sky, are you? What fantastic luck! A blessing in the midst of a disaster. What? The Order can help me rescue the Marquis. It must. The Marquis is held captive? They took him hostage, yes, but he still lives. We must act quickly if he is to remain so. Should he be killed, I will lose everything. You simply must help me. Please, I beg you. Calm yourself. Who's to say your Marquis is to be killed anyway? The Corpse Brigade would not take a man alive, save there were value in keeping him so. Of that you can be sure. There's little the 3 of us can do to help in any case. If the Marquis was taken hostage, Igros will be in an uproar. You can be sure of that, too. Then before all else, we will report into... I am not doing well with the reading today. Report into Igros. Are we agreed? Agreed. We'll start there. Alright, and so we now have Argus joining us. That does it for this episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. I'll see you in the next video.